Good morning, everyone. I wanted to show you guys what I'm going to be doing with the reishi mushrooms that I harvested. I showed you the video the other day of how to harvest them, so now I'm going to show you what I do with them. So, these are so beautiful. I've never found so many of these beautiful mushrooms in one spot. It's a good year for harvest. It's all the benefit, all the rain we've had. So, what I do is I take a serrated knife. You want a real sharp knife, and I make kind of vertical strips. And if you see this white rim here, okay, the white rim you can actually eat. All right, I've already kind of eaten a bunch of it from some of the other mushrooms, but so you cut the tips. You kind of just take the white part off, okay? And when these are so fresh, they're actually soft enough where you can cook them up and eat them. See, actually, that's a good little piece too. So I like to fry these up in a little garlic, salt and pepper, olive oil. They're real tasty. They kind of have the texture of chicken, but they definitely taste like a reishi mushroom. It's a great way to get that immune boost, help to detox the liver. It's really good for skin. It's really good for fatigue. This is one of the best mushrooms to help to heal cancer, like I said before, and all autoimmune disease. This is my favorite wild mushroom. I feel so blessed to have found so many. So I'm going to save those, cook those later, but just want to show you what I end up doing here. And you can really cut them in any way, but it's for drying out purposes. You want to cut them as thin as possible. Makes them easier to dry out. So I like to stand in the qigong stance, get nice and grounded. And just go easy, let the knife do the work. They can be kind of tough. That's why it's really important to have a sharp knife. And it's funny, this is why I say they kind of look like bacon strips, especially after you dry them out. They don't really taste like bacon though. That's a good one. I can eat that one. I found that these are the ones that come up early, and then later in the season you have the hemlock varnish shelf that's more red on top, like all red, like it doesn't have the orange to the yellow, and you don't really have the white strip as much on the reishi that come later in the season. So it's kind of harder to get the edible portions because it just is too tough to eat. So I've sliced up all the mushrooms. Now I'm going to put them on my tray where I dehydrate them. I dehydrate them at about temperature of 130 to 140, and I set it for about 7 to 8 hours it takes to dry them out. They're filled with so much moisture, so it takes a long time. Reishi mushrooms have been used for thousands of years in Chinese medicine. Actually, the old emperors, you could see them with pictures holding the mushroom in their hand as they're sitting up on their throne. And TCM is called Ling Zhi. And in our part of the world, they grow only on dead hemlock trees. So you want to find the hemlock grove, and you get a bunch of rain, and usually, you know, late spring, early summers when you find them, all the way to kind of late summer where you get the hemlock varnish shelf. Okay, so that's one tray I got set up here. I'm going to show you, these are what they look like after they've already been dehydrated. Okay, and so you want to dehydrate them till they're not soft at all, so they're really hard. Okay, so this is what they look like after dehydration. And I put them in a ball jar to keep it airtight and keep them preserved. Another thing I do is I make tincture out of them. Okay, so this is vegetable glycerin, a little bit of distilled water. I shake this guy up every day, every few days. You let it sit for a few weeks, up to a month. I like to put this glass in here to help kind of weigh them down. You want to kind of keep them underneath the water line so they don't get funky. And then I put them in amber glass bottles with a dropper. And I take about one to two dropperfuls. I put them about 6 ounces of water, and I drink as a tonic daily. And it really helps to keep the immune system strong. I used reishi mushrooms to help heal myself from Lyme disease last summer. So among other herbs and mushrooms, but the reishi is really big for Lyme disease too. I forgot to mention that. So just wanted to show you what I do with the mushrooms, and you can look for some links I'll be posting later about buying my tinctures, and also some more information about them. But I encourage you to go out in the woods and find them yourself. There's nothing like finding your own mushrooms. And yeah, so if there's any questions, feel free to PM me. I'm going to be putting this video up on YouTube and all over social media and whatnot. So, but just wanted to show you how to harvest them. You know, another thing that I wanted to mention too is, you see, because they're so medicinal, okay, you see the slugs will try to get them, you know, the bugs and everything. So that's why with reishi, it takes a few days for them to open up. But once they open, you really want to harvest what you're going to harvest, because if you wait too long, a few days, when the bugs get them, you can't use them anymore. So, and then like they'll be starting to rot. And so you want to, just like anything harvesting in the wild, you want to harvest it at the height of its medicine, basically, you know. So and can be a very short cycle, especially with mushrooms. Reishi lasts a little bit longer, but you know, there's a lot of delicate mushrooms. They come up, and then the bugs or animals will eat them, and then they're gone. So that's the beauty of foraging. You never know what you're going to find, and sometimes, you know, I've walked in the woods before where it came too late for the reishi, and I saw a bunch of reishi mushrooms are already rotted, and that's cool. They're doing their medicine, you know, helping to protect our earth, save our earth, and give all their awesome energy and nutrients. So, you know, but I like that we can also utilize them to take internally for ourselves. So I've even used them externally on rashes. They're amazing for skin. It's good for eczema, psoriasis, any skin condition. So it's another thing I've done. I've taken the tincture and put it externally. But there's many different ways that you can do it. You know, I suggest that you experiment and try it out yourself. And yeah, but as always, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up, and enjoy the rest of your day.